Well, sit down. Sit down.
Most gracious Father, we thank you, Lord, once again, opportunity to come and fellowship one with another here in the neighborhood and surrounding area. We thank everyone that's present. Thank you for traveling grace, highway mercy. Thank you, Lord, for being our God and being our Lord of our lives. And we can come to you when anything that our needs, you already got us covered. Thank you now. This is our president and the group. In the name of Jesus, we pray and ask that all we say together. Amen.
Good evening to everybody. Good evening. We do have refreshments today, so just let Marcel know if anybody wants anything. We have chicken. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started because I got a lot of this. So is Christine back there? Christine,
I don't see her.
oh no, I don't see her. Jordan, I'm gonna go ahead and let you start. We know that we're voting right now, so Reverend Herron has been here and spoken with us, and I'm giving Jordan an opportunity to come up and speak with us today.
Right.
Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson. Howdy, folks. My name is Jordan Villarreal. I've been here many a time when I was a planning and zoning commissioner, making sure we fought back against gentrification here in the city and here in Southeast End. I fought back against the Woodrow complex, stood with Commissioner McDade every single time we had a chance to vote. We voted on it, 4 times, 5 times? And every single time I voted no against it. And we were the last 2 standing voting against that complex. When it came to the railway complex, rail yard complex, we were the only 2 to vote against the rail yard complex when that came before the commission. So every single time I've had the chance, I've stood with Southeast Denton. I made sure we fought back against gentrification. I made sure we fought back against displacement here in the Southeast Denton community. That's the kind of energy I want to take to City Council, make sure that we have an experienced, forward-thinking leader who can hit the ground running on day one. I've served the commission for 4 years, including a term as vice chair. I've also served as the chief of staff in the state legislature for the vice chair of the House Democratic Caucus, where we fought to protect public education funding, pushed back against racist gerrymandering, and fought for more affordability here in our town. And I want to make sure that we're focused on those key core issues, right? We want to make sure that we're pushing for more sidewalk connectivity through District 1, better street and road repair, fully funding our police and fire department, which is why I've been endorsed by the Denton Firefighters Association, and ensuring that we have smart growth, pushing back against gentrification in our historic neighborhoods like SEDNA, while allowing for more affordable housing where it makes sense. I've served as a Democratic executive committee man for the state, and I also went as a national delegate to Chicago to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris in 2024 to make sure that we had a progressive leader leading the charge in the 2024 presidential election. So I've been fighting to make sure that we have progress up and down the ballot, from local level all the way down to all the way up to the federal level, which is why I've been endorsed by Congressman Colleen in this race, as well as multiple city council members, including Brandon Chase McGee. So I'd be happy to chat with y'all. I know you see a lot of familiar faces here. If I haven't given you my personal card, please come chat with me after the meeting. I do have to run. There's a scholarship banquet happening right after for Denton ISD folks who are going to school, first generation college kids. So I'm going to head out there pretty much right afterwards. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, Ms. Johnson, to speak today. Again, I look forward to representing y'all on the city council, and I want to thank Pastor Herron for running a phenomenal race. I think got to know each other a lot better during this race. We both run pretty good and clean campaigns, and I think that's what this is all about. Just talking about the local issues, making sure we connect with the community, and talk about our experience, right? We kept it clean. We tried to build consensus when we're talking about those local issues, and that's what's important here. So again, Jordan Villarreal, you can learn more about me at jordanfordenton.com, or you can go to my Facebook, Instagram, or whatever at Jordan for Denton. Thank you again. I look forward to chatting with all of y'all throughout the remaining 5 days of the campaign. Thank you so much.
God bless you, man. God bless you.
Matt, you want to go ahead and follow up behind me?
How's everybody doing? All right. A lot of y'all don't know my name because I'm usually just the guy back there with the camera, popping in with a fact here and there. But for those who don't know what I do, basically I follow local politics. I've done it really in depth for about the last 10 years. And one of the things I study is who's voting, who's not, how we're affecting elections, right? I don't do it as a Democrat, I don't do it as a Republican, I do it as a citizen of Denton, so my numbers aren't skewed. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was the fact that whenever I cut out this area, basically from Woodrow to Bell and everything, a little bit north of McKinney, just at East Mac Park. We have about 3,500 people registered to vote. 3,500, which is a lot of people registered to vote. Y'all know how many people come out to vote in these elections every year?
About 10%.
About 10%, yeah, about 220, which is a huge thing. Now, a few years ago, Mr. McDade came up to me and said, hey, Matt, we have a problem. Politicians come to SEDNA and they say something, and then they leave and they do something completely different. How do we change this? Now, I don't live here. I actually live in D2, but I said, I'll help you out with this because it's important. I said, you know, all he needs is a camera and a YouTube account. So that's what I was doing for the last couple of years, making a record of everything somebody says and comes and talks to you guys about. So that way, if anybody ever lies to you, you have something to come back on. Y'all have a lot of people. This is a very underrepresented area. And people go, how come people out in Robeson Ranch to the south get all the attention? Because they come out and vote. They come out somewhere about 30%. They're good for about 1,700 votes every year. Just imagine if you guys doubled what you have right now, got up to 20%, got up to whatever. That's enough to make a difference. That's enough to elect a mayor. That's enough to make people think about you guys when they're running for the at-large places. That is enough to shift every D1 person and make sure the person who represents D1 is there for y'all. So if you haven't voted, get out and vote. It's really easy to do. Up until 7 p.m. tomorrow, you can walk over to MLK. You can vote anywhere in the county. If you know anybody who hasn't voted, get them to come out and vote. Y'all have heard from some of the candidates. But it's really important that y'all come out and vote, because if you want to know why that area is getting all the attention and y'all aren't, you want to know why that area has first responders showing up and y'all don't, you want to know why that area has people not, making sure the streets aren't blocked up and, there's not dogs running around and everything, it's because the guys who sit on the dais, they know if they upset those people, they're going to get voted out. Okay? So it's really important for y'all to assert yourselves. And I know everybody in this room, y'all are here right now, so it's super important to you guys. But just make sure you get everybody out and come out and vote, because what you want is everybody who's going to be sitting on that dais to be scared of upsetting you, because that's how you get things done. Anyway, that's my spiel. I'll go back to being quiet.
That's good. Good speech. Good. Well said, Matt. Well said.
Ms. Byrd, this is her last time speaking with us.
Last time.
Well, it's been 5 years. It's been 5 whole years.
Wow.
Yes, it has. And I tell you all that I have, I'm just so much more mature in policy making and seeing how a city runs and a government runs. I spent a lot of time in college getting my degree in criminal justice, and it took a lot of history and government classes. And so I can see what I learned here in these last few years. So I want to thank you all for supporting me. I may not have been spot on every single thing, but you all have to remember that there's 7 votes, and I only won 7 votes.
Right.
And it takes more than half to make decisions for the city. And so, saying that, you all have given me some charges. We've got the light down there on Moore Street, and and we got those streets done first before anybody else in the entire city. So they're starting from east to west, those street repairs. It's just things like that. But I made some really good friends here, but I was already embedded in the community anyway. But I just wanted to come up and tell you all that this is my last meeting as a city council member. And I certainly hope that you all will go with me as I continue to make this run for school board. I'm the same logical, mindful, thoughtful, helpful, loving, kind individual. And I listen. I just try to do my very best for everyone involved. I hope you all could have seen that here in the last 5 years. So thank you all for giving me an opportunity. And I hope that you all will make a good decision on your next D1 representative. I am supporting Jordan Villarreal. He's been there with me every step of the way, and he's given me a lot of guidance on how to do things. So I am very thankful for him for that. He's been in the business a lot longer than I have, actually. So he's given me some guidance on that. Other than that, you all, thank you, and I hope to come back next month as your representative for place 6 on the school board. All right, you all keep that in mind. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, thank
I'm going to the black. Okay, y'all take care.
you. Get over there.
She said next month, but I want to remind everybody that we don't meet in May. Because of graduations and the holiday, we
Right.
skip May and give everybody a break.
Okay.
So we will come back in June.
We'll come back in June. Okay, we'll see you in June.
All right.
So the police never came in. I did speak with Habitat, and of course he has an excuse. He said he can't come to the meeting because they meet on 4th Monday. And all of a sudden, Nancy can't come. She used to be the one to come to the meeting, so I've reached out to the board of directors to find out why no one can come to the meeting and tell us what's going on with those houses and how people can apply to get a house. So I'm still working on that. It took forever to even get him to call me back, but at least he did that. So I will keep you guys posted on what's going on with Habitat. The mayor's gonna be late, he did tell me that, so, Donald.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just wanted to come before everybody and to let everybody know that, that Wednesday at the planning and zoning meeting, terrific. That's how you get out and let the let the city know that, hey, we're here, you know, we're listening. I know you may not like it, you may like it. But the people on the dais, they were more impressed because they were counting how many members were out in the audience. They let me know, hey, we had 33 people show up. And I'm here to say, you know, and I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We've had some inadequate, really bad representation, not in District 1, in Southeast Denton for the last 10 years. Just think about it. Had we shown up, had we known about most of the stuff that was going on in Southeast Denton those last 10 years and showed up like we did that Wednesday, we probably wouldn't be in the predicament we're in now. They were very impressed with us coming out. You know, you really don't have to talk. You don't have to speak. They have cards at the front that you can just say, hey, I'm in support or I'm in opposition of what's going on. If you don't want to speak, you can still make your voice known by just filling out that card. And secondly, these flyers that Julie sent out, whenever they pass them out, please read them. When I walked into that meeting that Wednesday, I had about 15 people. What does this mean? What does this mean? That meeting is the wrong time to be asking questions. I know that they're going to set up another meeting, probably probably a month from now. When you come to that meeting, if you have any kind of question, I was always told the dumbest question you can ask is the ones you don't ask. I mean, Julie and Mia, I got to give these two ladies credit. They have been on the ball from day one. You let them know, they will get back with you. And I don't mean get back with you the 4th Monday of every month. They will get back with you probably that same day. Now, with that being said, I got some good news for you. The railroad yard apartments. I don't know if everybody came to the meeting when he met with the neighborhood, but he was very rude to the neighborhood. He was very disrespectful. I'm sitting next to him, I hate to say it, but he was drunk. That's why his realtor did all the speaking for him. So he was like, I've never heard of this area. I didn't know anything about it. He was very disrespectful. But you know that old saying, karma's y'all can fill in the rest. These apartments, he built 352 apartments. It's been almost a year, and those apartments are still 90% empty.
Right.
Because the prices are too expensive. But the same people that he didn't want in there, he couldn't rent them, he ran to the housing department, tried to put them on housing.
Right.
And Housing told him, hey, why don't you try dropping your prices? But his ego was so bad, he refused to drop his prices. So Housing told him, no, we're not going to accept you. So with that being said, I don't know how much it costs to build that apartment complex, but it was multi-millions.
Look at me.
And you've only got 40 people renting, you're not making that note. So with that being said, those two properties that he has across the street, he's having to sell those.
Right.
That's where we can step in. And I'm gonna stay with the representatives. I want to know what's going on with those properties once you're sold. Because that's something that really wasn't kept up with. It shouldn't, I mean, you know, I call them all the time, but I don't want to know at the 4th of every Monday, of the fourth Monday of every month, hey, something's going on with this area, when you knew about it 3 weeks ago. That's the wrong time to come here because it's already 3 weeks in the works. So like I said, I'm going to stay on that. I'm going to, you know, whoever wins the election, I'm going to get with you, and we're going to sit here and we're going to come back. And if I have to let Colette know, hey, tomorrow when something's going on and we still have 3 weeks till Monday, at least she's going to know about it. That was the problem that we had here with the representation we've had here for the last 10 years. We had one representative who refused to come to the meeting. We had one who stood here and told us, hey, y'all don't have to go up there to the city, you know, I'll do it for you. And come to find out, they were doing just the opposite of what was going on. So if you don't hold their feet to the fire and you don't go up there, you don't know what's going on. But that's something that needs to change. And maybe I don't think it's too late. I think we still have time. So whoever's going to represent this district, just put them on notice right now.
Yeah.
That hey, when you find out, we need to know. Don't wait the fourth Monday of every month to come give us information. And that information is already 20 or 30 days old. We need to know now. So I tell people all the time, when you find out, that's what we call the pencil stage. They can still erase that. 4 weeks down the road, it's in the ink stage. You can't erase ink. The pencil stage is when we need to get on the project, get with whoever's representing us, and get something done. And with that, hey, thank you all.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
So, did you have a chance?
I thought about that.
Okay, got it, then let me look. It was still,
225 on the
was it, okay,
225.
okay, and then,
And the RV thing you said it wasn't illegal.
right, so, the questions were, well, first, that the stop signs, parking near the stop sign, so the one on Lakey, you see them parking across the street, that one car is kind of close to the sign, but then the other car parks on the other side, so that's Lakey and Duncan. And then on the cemetery spaces, there's a selfie stick, y'all don't know nothing about that. There's 10 full coffin spaces left at IWF. There's 221 full coffin spaces at Oakwood. And then there's, the other ones are infant and cremations. We're going, Lord willing, we'll need the infant ones. So I speak against those. And then the RV was, you can park it in your driveway as long as it's all the way up. And you can, and the distance is 25 feet is what they measured to see. And so you're able to see from there. So they looked into those things that you brought up before. Is there anything else I can speak to or anything we missed?
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
The parking of the stop sign on Bradshaw and Perry. Did you mention that?
Yes, ma'am. They went by and the PD was going to talk to them. And the past few times I've driven by there, they hadn't parked in front of that stop sign.
They have?
They haven't?
Again, there's 24 hours in a day. I drove by at a segment in time in the day, and it wasn't there. So is it there? Is it not there? I mean, I don't know. So I guess that's what.
If they're the other 23 hours, and I live right around the corner. I've even sent pictures,
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But I'm saying is that they stop right at the stop sign before and after the stop sign every day.
And what time is that?
I get out of work at 5, so I would say they're probably there at about 4:30.
And this is, so I'm gonna take a little liberty because this is my last one as mayor. Now you give me the business online, so you could also talk to your single member representative.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy to help, but I do get tired of you giving me the business and I fix stuff for you when your other person gives you bad information and you just roll with it. You never chirp.
No, I don't get about anything.
You don't ever chirp about her bringing bad information, but when I do good work, you like, oh, we need to get the mayor out of here. So I'm just making sure you understand.
And I understand.
I'm clearly communicating.
Right before you came in this meeting, I told we get bad information from our D1 rep.
Yeah, but you don't say that online. I can show you the screenshots.
We're good. Move on.
Okay.
Move on.
Put some seats like these.
Move on. When you throw a stone, only one dog gonna bark. That's the one that gets hit.
I'm just saying, as my party gives to you, I see you.
Move on.
So, anything else? So I will check on the car again and see if maybe they can paint something or where they left that. But is there anything else we can work on? Awesome. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for 2 terms.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget about that.
Yes, sir.
I don't have a big presentation, just a couple of things to remind everyone of. First of all, in terms of development, we don't have anything going on in this area right now. So no new applications. I know that the rail yard phase 2, that they're in some sort of development. But any new applications we haven't received. We see a lot of development right now up at the Bonnie Bray area, kind of near the new high school. If you've taken your kids to school, you probably have been frustrated with Bonnie Bray. So there will be an HEB up there at University of Bonnie Bray, and then another one at 35 and Robeson. So those have been kind of the big projects going on right now. But in terms of Southeast Denton, we do have a couple of things, and I want to thank everybody for coming out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, a month ago. It was nice to see everybody on a Wednesday night. But so the overlay districts went to P&Z. There were some additional questions from the community, so P&Z asked that we postpone that in order to have another community meeting. So we've been in the planning stages for that, and don't set it in stone, but we are more than tentatively scheduled for May 18th here to just have a community meeting. It'll be informational or to provide feedback. If you know everything about the overlay districts, there won't be anything new to share at that time, but we can certainly go over it and answer questions and just get any feedback you may have. If you do have questions now, we can, I could certainly, I've got some cheat sheets if you weren't there and you'd like a cheat sheet. And then if the cheat sheet isn't quite up to snuff, I also have just some screenshots from the presentation that might clarify things a bit. So remember, there's the Southeast Denton residential overlay that's proposed, the Southeast Denton live-work overlay, and then the Southeast Denton height overlay. So primarily, we've gotten a lot of questions about the residential overlay and some about the live-work. And then just know that height overlay, and that's that area near the rail yard, that would have heights to 40 feet instead of currently what's allowed, which is 65 feet. So, one other thing. So we've been working really, really hard. We got our funding for the National Park Service for the historic resource survey. We're going through the RFQ process for a consultant, and we anticipate it will kick off in about probably August or September. My ask of you and of your neighbors and anybody else that, that you speak with, as part of the historic resource survey, we want to have a full, complete historic record of Southeast Denton. So we, oral interviews are going to be a part of it. So if you would like to be a part of that, or if you'd like to nominate someone to be a part of that, we'd certainly like to hear about what it was like to live and grow up in Southeast Denton. And then also, if you have any pictures or I've told Pastor Logan, and I just told Mr. McDade that I've gone through, I found a couple of old Fred Moore yearbooks, and I looked at the advertisements in the back to see what the businesses were, who was advertising. So if you have any crazy stuff that you think, would this matter? Well, just let us know. We can make copies of it. I don't want the original. We could share that with the consultant group so they can create a really full picture of Southeast Denton. That's all I have. The lighting. Oh, the lighting. Oh, yes. And I hope the engineering said it should be operational in about 3 weeks. So I'm going to say I hope by this time next month you have an operational light there at Woodrow and Morse. So that's really exciting.
All right.
So I'm not making any promises, but that's what I was told.
There is a May 18th meeting time. You said a meeting May 18th?
It will be in the evening, so we are anticipating probably around 6 o'clock
Okay.
is what we're looking at.
Here at MLK.
Yes, ma'am.
The vote that you guys see is made. This is kind of, but if that vote that turns everything back around, the plan is on this, let me start all over again.
No, ma'am. So all it means, because this is actually coming out of the Southeast Denton Area Plan, which was adopted in July of 2024. As part of that, we heard from the community that protection of the neighborhoods, the single-family neighborhoods, was really important, not only in architectural character, but also in use. So that is what the residential overlay is proposed for, to kind of protect this existing architectural character and building scale in Southeast Denton. So it looks like it would always have been there and it would live there. So we started in 2023 with the area plan, and then it's been going on a while. Well, we want to make sure that we get it right, because we want these overlays and the area plan, all of that, to really reflect what the community wants to see. And so we want to make sure that it is reflective of the community's vision and desires. So we've asked questions in a lot of different ways to make sure it was that it met what the community would like to see. Now, if the community doesn't want to see that, it's not a requirement, but it is something that we said that we would do in the area plan, so that's why we're coming forward.
But you guys have bills over in the ranch area. Y'all been building something over there, or is the building from home, and it's taking 3 to 4 years just to get out there and stuff done?
Well, and this is kind of in planning. We kind of have two separate parts. We have the current planning, and then we have long range. And that the area plan is really looking at that long-term vision for the community. What would you like to see the community look like in 10 years? What kind of infrastructure do you have? What kind of housing would you like to see? What do you want the parks to be? So it does take longer than maybe an individual lot being developed. So in the area plan really is a policy document. It doesn't change the zoning, it doesn't change development rights, it doesn't change anything having to do with what is allowed or what is not allowed in Southeast Denton. It really is that policy document, so when we go to Kansas or council, we can say, this is what the community told us they wanted. And that's what that purpose of that is. Now, the ranch area, Razor Ranch?
Up at University, that whole street, all of that development going up through there.
Oh, on Bonnie Gray or on,
All of it.
yeah, that has also been years in the making, so someone like.
So you telling me that our people, you telling me that we have not got together? I'm just getting understanding.
No.
You're telling me, and I can't believe that, you're telling me for that many years, that we haven't been able to get this right, and y'all keep putting them on over and over and over again.
That's a
I'm sorry,
No, it started then. They came to a lot of meetings. We had a lot of meetings and was voting on different stuff. And then they just now finished it to be able to present it. That's what's taking so long.
Did we vote it down and we did?
We voted it down.
Okay, y'all, okay, I understand that.
If you have any questions, just, I like numbers on that, just call me. We can talk through it. Any other questions?
I didn't vote
Well, I think it's important, Julie, to note that's a master plan, right? You want to go over the difference in that's prescribed versus this is not.
Thank you, that is a really good point. So the Southeast Denton Area Plan, the mayor's right, that is a policy document. What you see at Razor Ranch is actually the zoning, the law for that property. So it was master planned to look like that. It actually started in 2008, the master plan for that property. And it's been a long time developing as well. And that's what we want to make sure that we have those policy documents and that vision correct, so that if somebody asks to develop or if something happens in Southeast Denton, we know what the community wants us to do. And that's really, did I answer that?
Yeah, it's just prescribed, like so for example, Home Depot came in and it was supposed to be Lowe's and they wanted to move some trees. So they have to come back to council to get those trees moved. It is prescribed down to the greenscape, what all goes there, what it looks like. And so it makes it go faster because you don't have a choice.
That is true, yes. There was a site plan that was approved for that property, and that where the buildings are and where the trees are, where the parking is, that was all decided on, specifically for that area. So that's a good point. Thank you for correcting. All right, anything else? All right, well, I'm here if y'all need me. Thank you.
I saw the police come in.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's a lot of service. Officer?
Yes, ma'am.
You can see the borders, the borders. East Virginia, Dallas Drive, Bill Avenue.
We have someone new today.
All right.
Good afternoon to y'all. It's good morning to me, just getting started today.
Right.
I'm glad to be here. I actually got asked in briefing to volunteer. I didn't know what I was volunteering for. But I've been trying to come to this meeting since I was in training, so I'm glad to be here today. I think you invited me one time. So I'm here. I made it.
All right, good.
I'm happy to be here. Officer Parker, relatively new to the department. I got into law enforcement to be a part of the community, to help build the community. So I'm excited to be here in this meeting. We are actively working and being proactive in the area and trying to deal with all the problems that we can deal with. It does take the department and the community to deal with the issues. And we are here to listen to what kind of issues you have here in the community and how we can support the community as well. I didn't prepare anything to talk with you guys about, but I am here to answer any kind of questions or enlighten you guys on things that I can answer.
So you will be in this community, this is where you're gonna be patrolling?
I work, my beat is kind of more north, but I also have East McKinney as well, on the north side of East McKinney, but I do work in the area here as well. We do have a team that is focused on proactivity, so that they're not just accepting calls, they're being proactive, and whether that be dealing with problem areas, if there's an area in the community that's starting to have a lot of maybe burglary of vehicles, or high traffic, or maybe high traffic and soon drug dealing, things of that nature. We do have a team that is attacking that. We do have an internal communication so that we know where those areas are. So if you guys are having any kind of issues where you're, maybe a lot of homes are getting broken into, or people are breaking into cars or stealing vehicles, you can contact the non-emergency line and you can tell us where those areas are, and we can do what's called a closed patrol, so that that is on our eyes, and the officer in that area can look over that issue problem area throughout the night or throughout the day. We are seeing a lot of people that are leaving their keys in their vehicle, and people are just grabbing doors. There's a door open, they push that button, and then they take that vehicle. So please make sure that you guys are locking your vehicles. It's not an issue that's really in one area, it's kind of happening all around, and I'm seeing a little bit of an uptick in it on my end. So just be careful, make sure that you guys lock your stuff up. Of course, don't leave anything in plain view that you can see in your vehicles, especially with the push to starts. It's so easy to get into that vehicle, push it, and go. Some of the programs like OnStar and a different, like Ford has a different program. If you guys do have those programs, it's really good to have, because you can contact them and they can locate your vehicle. Some of the newer vehicles, they can also disable the ignition so that the car cannot stop or cannot be turned on. Does that make sense? Is there any other questions that you guys have?
No questions for police? Nothing going on? Yeah, you said who can we call?
The non-emergency line. I can give you that phone number to the non-emergency line if you guys are ready to write it down. I can give it to you.
That's if I card.
If you have an emergency, call 911. But if there's an area that you're seeing high traffic, criminal activity, things of that nature, maybe it's not going on right then, you can contact the non-emergency line and you can inform them what's going on in your area. If you would like to speak with an officer, you can let them know that you would like to speak with an officer so that you can explain the issues that are happening, and then we can set up what's called a closed patrol in that area. Let's say that typically maybe 10 o'clock to midnight, you're seeing people walking around in the area grabbing door handles. You can report that to an officer, and then we can do what's called a closed patrol in that area during those hours. I'll give the phone number real quick, and then I'll answer questions.
They can also do 311.
That's what I'm gonna ask about.
Yeah, and make it, so they don't, if you don't wanna, I don't wanna, you can get a number as well, but if you can dial 311 and they'll route you to it as well. But give them the direct number just in case.
It's 940-349-8181. You got it.
No, I think Mayor just said, but that 311 works. It's documented.
Yes,
On the
sir.
311, that way you can fill it out, even for picking up items you want picked up for trash collection or special pickup. You put it on 311, it's documented. That way you can go back to it and they'll contact you via email, so they know that you've got the information in and you got a tracking system through 311. I've used it 3 times and got perfect results each time. Officer,
Yes, sir.
what about these people walk around at night with dark clothes on? Not talking to the mayor's got to eat, but it's daytime, Mayor. The shirt that the mayor has on now, without the white hat, without the white t-shirt, they got on black pants, a black shirt, and they're black. And then I run over them, and then I'm going to jail. So what's the deal on that?
Okay, so don't run over them.
I'm trying, it came close, just 2 days ago, it was close, man.
Yeah.
It was close.
So I agree with you. We do have an issue with pedestrians in the roadway, especially on University. I don't know why people think they can just walk across that street as slow as possible at night with dark clothes on. So first off, with yourself, keep diligent. Understand that this is an issue that we're having experienced throughout the entire city. But we are doing our best to, when we see it happening, we're stopping these people and contacting them. Yes, sir. Okay. It's called a pedestrian stop. It's kind of just like a traffic stop. If they're in the roadway, if they're impeding traffic, if they're not using a crosswalk when there's a crosswalk available. But it also takes education as well, especially with some of the younger kids, because they see the adults do it, so they think they can just cross the road whenever they want. They think cars are going to stop for them. That's not the case, unfortunately, especially with some not so great drivers. So just educate them as well. Use the crosswalk when the crosswalk says for you to go. Sometimes people go to the crosswalk and you see that hand that's up, you ain't supposed to go there. And then you go anyways. But that is an offense, and we do stop people. And when we have the time, I know that I make that stop, and everybody on our shift does. Sometimes it's just a warning. Sometimes people may have history of it, and it's a citation as well. So.
I know you're not a lawyer, but if I run over it, and I'm still very sweet, and I stop, and I report it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I got a good chance of not going to jail.
That is true, actually. There has been times when people have been in the roadway, especially in higher speed areas where you cannot see that person. You may be coming down a hill, it may be dark, they got on all black clothes, but the important thing is that you do stop and you do call 911 and you stay there until 911 gets there so that you can tell them your side of the story.
All right.
Right? It's going to be a lot of factors that will come into play.
Okay.
Right?
All right, officer.
Just don't hit.
I'm not gonna hit him with it.
Yeah, don't hit him.
Can I hit him and just put it on 311?
Call 911.
Okay, I'll just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I have a question now. These individuals on these motorized scooters, what vehicle law, I mean, how are they governed as far as, because I have some, I come down Elm every morning, and right there on Congress Street, I mean, they just go straight through the stop sign and just, where everybody's slamming on brakes, they don't use the stop signs, or they're on the side of the road, and they just shoot across. I mean, who controls that?
The car has the right of way. A person on a motorized scooter is a pedestrian, so they have to follow pedestrian laws, right? If there's a sidewalk available, they have to walk on the sidewalk. If they're going to be in the roadway, they actually have to be in the opposite lane of traffic, so that they can see the vehicles coming. I think it's more.
Is this with the scooters, or I'm talking about that?
A scooter is classified as a pedestrian.
It's okay,
Somebody
all right.
walking. So they have to follow the same laws as somebody walking. They have to give the right of way to the vehicles, unless they're at a crosswalk and they have the walk sign, or if they're at a stop sign, and your vehicle is stopped, and they have the right of way at that crosswalk. But they do have to follow laws just as somebody's walking. Bikes are a little bit different because bikes are actually in traffic code, so they do have some different laws. They basically have to follow traffic laws if they're on the roadway. If they're on the sidewalk, they're kind of more considered like a pedestrian, but they still have laws as well. They're supposed to have lights at night. That's one big thing. A lot of people on bikes are riding around on bikes. They think that they're safe because they're on the sidewalk, but they're still supposed to have a light affixed to their vehicle. Or their bicycle.
Well, I don't know if you patrol this area, but I know going down Mayhill toward 380, I see that they have on the sidewalk, they have a yellow sign that says, stay to the left, stay to the right. Is that because of pedestrian or scooters? Or if you go down there, I mean, they have signs up.
On the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, they're trying to help traffic on the sidewalk.
Okay.
For bicyclists, people running scooters and things of that nature. These electric scooters, I think they're probably working on laws to that, I'm assuming, because it's relatively new and we're having a big uptick in them, and people think they can just do whatever they want because they're on a scooter, which is not the case.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
If they're gonna be an officer, like this community used to have an officer, is that ever gonna happen again, or is it just, we're short right now, and you're just trying to make do with what you have?
I think that question is more above my pay grade. I don't know the exact answer to that question. I think the department is going more towards community policing as a whole. I know that there was a position in place. I'm not sure if we're gonna go back to that position or not, but I can put that in my notes, and if I get to be able to come back again, I can have a better answer for you.
And you said you're more to the north, so that's more this way.
So my beat is kind of, so McKinney kind of started at Carroll, going east on McKinney to the loop, and then north on the loop, back down University towards Carroll.
Make sure you let them know we don't meet in May, so.
Okay.
They'll be back in
May,
June.
back in June. And I'll get a date from you, and then I can try to come back next time and
Your
answer
name?
some better questions.
Your
Sorry.
name?
Officer Parker.
Parker.
Yes. We have an interim chief of police, which is Chief Solis. He was the assistant chief. Now he's the interim chief. And Radford is the interim assistant chief right now.
We know Solis.
Anything else for the police? Thank you very much.
I appreciate y'all.
All right, thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Did Christine ever come in? No? Okay, we'll close it out with Pastor Herron.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I wanted to just kind of come up. I want to cover quite a few topics, and I typically talk fast, but I'm going to try and pause so I won't forget a few things that are being talked about. Y'all heard Jordan talk from the beginning. He's representing also District 1. Voting is open. Many of you probably have voted, whether by mail-in, because y'all are the ones that are involved in this community. Go talk to your family and friends. Get them to vote. Talk to those who are not voting. There's a lot of people who sit on the sideline and say what needs to be changed, but don't do anything to change. And you can't get change if you just don't sit back and complain. You have to be willing to do something, which brings me to the next topic. If I get the chance to represent y'all, my intent is to be a voice for you all. But you all also have to be open to some things are going to change. And some things will be changed. You got to just kind of be in that position, and not that it's got to change drastically. I want to say, take your voice back to the council and come back and say to you all, here's what's going on. Here's what's happening. I want to be open to educating. I love teaching. So I'm a pastor. I love teaching. And so I want to come educate you on what's being said and make it real simple so you all can understand what's being proposed for you all. One of the things that you talked about, that if y'all can show up at that meeting when they do have it, that Julie was talking about, so we can make our voice heard, because there was 3 years of going through this and it got pushed back some more. So they're going to do this again. If you're going to come out, make your voice heard. Don't sit on the sideline and then, I had somebody in my family who sat on the sideline. I said, did you vote? No, I ain't going to vote. I said, I can't talk to you then. There ain't nothing for me to say. If you're not going to vote, then you just complaining. And so many people don't complain about what you allow. That's what I say. Don't complain about what you allow. So be open to that. That's what I want to represent for you all. And I'm not here just to do this for me. I want to clear up some things and get some things. My wife said to you all a couple of last month meetings that she's going to start making it to every one of these meetings. She ain't going to make it to all these meetings. Not in a bad way. There's going to be some ways I'm going to say, no, baby, you can't come tonight. Not in a bad way, but just because it's just a lot. And that's not her responsibility for this. She will be here to as many of them as she possibly can make it to. But I'll try my best. I couldn't make it last month because I was at a forum. And so I was at a Denia forum, and that's why I had to go out to. So I will be here for them as much as I can. But I wanted to clarify what she said. I want to also, Officer Parker, they're going to ask you, how did that meeting go? Here's what I want you to be ready to tell them. They need a representative that will represent Southeast Denton at this SEDNA meeting. And someone who will patrol this area. They meet every 4th Monday in the month. So they're gonna ask you that. That gives you something you can go back right away and tell them. I took your number. Well, I didn't get your number. You didn't give out your number from that regard. But just to know that that's the question she was asking was, who's going to represent us here? And so that's what we're looking for from the police. Someone who represents us here. We understand there may be a shortage. We got to hire and things like that. So that's possible. That's going to be out there. I want to introduce you all to somebody. If that's something, I want to introduce you all. Erica, stand up. You all may have seen her name along with me. This is Erica, the Erica Garland. This is the Erica Garland. She is running for place 5 in the race, which means anybody in Denton can vote for her. In District 1, I'm District 1. Only those in District 1 can vote for me. Erica Garland, anybody in Denton can vote for her. I approve this message. Just to let you all know, if you're wondering how I go, I approve this message. Would you like to say anything?
I mean, if I could just kind of give you guys a quick rundown of who I am, just because I think it's important that we actually know who the candidates are. I've lived in Denton coming up on 20 years. I raised my 4 boys as a single mom. I worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs to make ends meet. I know what it's like to struggle in Denton, and I know what it's like to compete with college kids for affordable housing. I know what it's like to have to move because your rent went up. I built my career at the Denton Enterprise Airport. When I got started there, I was making $9.50 an hour. Worked my way up to 15, and then I went to work for an airline. I've been in kind of the aviation industry for about 15 years. Fortunately, I finally made my way to a major airline. And I've served on our airport advisory board. I currently serve on our planning and zoning commission, so I get to hear Julie every single time talking about all the wonderful things they have planned for the city. I ran for this seat 2 years ago, and the reason I ran is because I think it's so important that we have real people representing us. Real people who've struggled, real people raising their families here, and real people fighting to stay here. And over the last couple of years, we've had this influx of people that want to have careers in politics. They use our council and our boards and our commissions to start building that resume. We have a lot of people, like you heard somebody here tonight that was like, I've worked for this Democrat state representative and I've been in Austin doing this. That's great. I have my dream job. If I felt like we were being represented across our city the way we should be, I wouldn't be doing this. But we've got to have grounded, everyday, regular people representing us that know what it's like to struggle in Denton. And so that's why I'm doing this. I will tell you, it's hard. There is a group of individuals that don't want regular people on our council. They fight you, they attack you, they smear you nonstop. I have cried at least 4 times today because it is hard. So, I'm not gonna cry here, but I would love to meet with you. I'd love to talk to you. I want you to feel like you actually know who I am. If you know anybody that wants to vote, that needs a ride to the polls, that needs help getting to the polls, I will make that happen. So, because we wanna make sure that your voices are heard, and that you have the representation that you deserve. So thank you for letting me jump in and introduce myself. It's a pleasure. I'll be around if you have any questions for me. And I'd love to give you my number in case you want to talk about anything. So, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
And I'm on y'all. And now I said what I said, but now I want to get even more real with y'all. Many of y'all knew me from when I was growing up. So y'all know Mike. I'm Michael. I'm Pastor Michael in a lot of circles, but I'm Mike. I'm a Mississippi son. I'm Anna Lee Herron's son. So many of you know that from that standpoint. Or you know one of my older brothers, Rick, Walter, Vincent, Mogi. Y'all know something. Y'all know them in that regard. So you know us from that standpoint. We're going to have moments where we're going to disagree. That's human nature. We are going to disagree. But can we agree that we are going to be working together as we're moving forward? I don't have a problem with disagreements. But let's don't be afraid of the why. Let's ask questions. Let's find out what's going on. Let's go move forward so we can continue to move this community forward. Because the whole point, I love this community. That's why I'm always driving around. That's what y'all know. We grew up here. We drive around. We go see things. We just go ride around. So I want to just let you all know that change is coming. but let's navigate through the change and be ready for what the change is going to be. I'm going to hang out here too, because I know Colette, thank you so much for letting me have a little brief moment at the end. And to answer any questions that you all may have, or if you have it for me and or Erica and anybody else that's in here, but I want y'all to be open to, I will fight for you all, but I will fight if it makes sense. But don't be afraid if you get pushback, if somebody says, well, what about this? It's not saying that they're disagreeing with you, they're just giving you other ways to look at things. And so sometimes we make decisions, we get locked in on something just because it's a personal feeling, but you got to think sometimes, does it affect the whole community or does it just affect you? And so those are the things we have to look at and think about as we're moving forward. As I've been doing this, one thing I'm about is what's going to be right for the majority of the people, that what they want to see. That makes sense? Yeah. Any questions? Give it back to Colette and y'all can ask me. Yes.
How late is the park open?
How late is the park open?
Yeah.
I believe it's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
Is it
All city parks are 10 o'clock.
what time?
10 o'clock
10
for
o'clock.
all city parks.
Okay. You got another speaker? Yeah, she got a speaker. So y'all can ask, I'll be here for the.
As coming in for the new council, would you approve of this coming to Dick now, to Southeast Dick, all this building and changing and all that? Are you for that or are you against that?
I'm for some development. When I was growing up here, do y'all remember we used to have Uncle Tommy's, Miss Keys, Rufus had the washateria and the candy store, and across there was Mr. Demons, and then over there we had Clara's, where Clara's is. We don't have no businesses now. And so and there are some people who live in this community that want to operate their own business, and why do we have to drive so far out constantly to go get things that could be right here? So I am for some development in the community that will uplift and build up the community in a sense, but I also don't want to lose the nature of our houses. And the ones that want to keep our houses. There's some great land here that you all have, and we want to keep you in the land that you have. I think you can have a mixture of it both. I think you can have a mixture of it both.
A lot of stuff come into the community, they set up business, but they don't put no money back into the community.
Yeah.
To make it
That's important, right?
That we've been out for a long time without having. I've been here all my life and I ain't seen no new building, nothing coming in the neighborhood as grocery stores, gas stations. I mean, it's damn, I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
We don't have good representatives anymore like we used to.
Yeah, and we need to, I think we can build that back up, because as a community, people want to come. They're moving there. So, I'm gonna stop, Colette. I'm sorry, thank you so much. I'll be here. Y'all can ask me questions afterwards. Remember, I ain't in the road yet, but I still can keep fighting. I can still keep fighting as we move forward. The olive forms are done. Oh, they done wore us out. Yeah, they wore us out. They wore us out on the form.
I didn't think Cheylon would be here tonight, but she did show up and she came to give updates because there was questions about the softball field. So she came with updates about naming of the softball field.
Hey y'all, excuse my tire, I literally just ran out of physical therapy. So the softball field, there was a name submitted, and what I received from the naming committee, public arts, is that the guy that you all wanted to name the park after, the softball field after, isn't from Denton. So unfortunately, I don't believe it's going to work. It says that someone, I don't even know who the name was. I'm just giving y'all an update. Whoever submitted the name has already reached out to the parks director and received the same information. On May the 4th at the park board meeting, I believe it's at 6 o'clock, people are welcome to come and make public comments. So that was the softball field. And then a lot of people are asking about the mural outside. Who are the people on the mural? The mural is James Former, who is a freedom rider, an activist. If you watch the movie Great Debaters, he was in the movie, he was the little boy. The lady is a younger version of Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. And so it's the whole idea behind that was to get people from Texas. The people who installed the mural made some mistakes with the type of screws that were put in, and so it caused some wearing, and so the ordinance has already been contacted, he's already come out, and he's gonna fix those mistakes. If people ask, people are saying there's no pictures of Dr. King. If you've been in this building, there's lots of pictures of Dr. King. When they asked who do we wanna put on there, my answer was I want people who kept Dr. King's dream alive. And that's what I hope that you all will take with you as you make all these suggestions, is that we won't just focus on Dr. King. Dr. King had a dream, and in order for us to keep his dream a reality, we have to move beyond Dr. King. That's what I just said. James Former and Bob. I can give you a Congresswoman.
That's what she's talking about.
I thought you was talking about these.
No, I'm talking about the painting the
Mural.
mural.
That's what you're talking about.
Yes, ma'am. They're talking about naming the softball field at Fairmont Court.
Oh, the field or the tournament? Are they naming the field or the tournament?
The tournament will, if they came to Juneteenth committee, and the Juneteenth committee said absolutely do not change the name of the tournament.
Right.
The tournament was, the suggestion was, I believe it was David Morton, who was an African-American umpire. They asked the Juneteenth committee and they said, let's just leave it the Juneteenth softball tournament. And now I believe they're trying to name the softball field altogether.
Gotcha.
It's gone to the park board, I believe a couple of times. And so they've circled it around in the community. So I'm just not sure if it's gonna pass, because the name of the person, like I said, they said he wasn't from Denton.
Okay.
That's one of the stipulations for the naming part. Naming.
I never heard about the park.
It's the city of Denton, not Denton County.
Well, the other one went in.
All righty.
But the meeting is May the 4th, so we just need to show up at that parks meeting. Cheylon, is that at the city council?
I can get that to you, Colette, to share with everybody. It's normally at the Civic Center in the community room. But if something's meeting in there, like voting is going on, it should be over. So it should be, but if not, it's normally on the, in the back, in the small room in the back.
Over with, so the Civic Center room, makes sense. Okay. At 6 o'clock.
I will get all of that to you in a few seconds.
Okay. Before we dismiss anything else, remember, we don't meet in May, we come back in June.
You have one hand back here. Raise your hand up, sister.
What is that?
Lay back
Can
here.
I quickly mention something?
Oh, go ahead.
All the people that are doing the vote by mail, there's some type of mix-up going on, because I always do my father in January, and this year he was getting none of the ballots. So I had to physically take him up there, because they kept saying they didn't have it, but we always fill it out and send it back. But we sent one of those forms, because the Democratic committee sent one, and the registration people sent out one, and they never recorded it, which meant he was gonna never be able to vote. So I had to physically take him up there to make sure that anybody that's doing the vote by mail, make sure they're able to vote, because otherwise, they're not seeing it up there, they're not gonna get the ballot to vote in anything. So just verify people that cannot get out do have their ballots at that registration, voter registration.
Thank you for that information. Anything else? No? Thank you guys for coming out.
Hey, man, brother.